Hi there guys, Ken here, your thrifty apprentice, and welcome back to another thrifty review. In today's video, we are going to be taking an in-depth look at the Paul Ruben's professional set of artist watercolors. And these Paul Ruben's is a Chinese company. Told you guys, or I've been telling you guys that I was going to start looking for more professional brands of paint to kind of intertwine into the channel, review, and I'm going to still make sure that they're pretty budget friendly. I promise you guys that. So let's get into the unboxing here. Here we have a nice pink box. It's a pretty good quality. It's not really flimsy at all. The top of the box here we have artist transparent watercolor, fine artist watercolors. And then it basically probably says that same thing in two other languages here. Paul Ruben's with the little Paul Ruben logo, some Chinese writing, and then artist watercolor. So I'm assuming a lot of this I won't be able to read because it's going to be in Chinese. I'm noticing that from all of the labeling. The only thing I'm really able to read is the Paul Ruben's. Let's flip it over on the back. On the back, it says the exact same thing as the front and has the same logo. So that's pretty much the box. Let's go ahead and open it up here. And on the inside of the box, we have this really nice cloth. I love this. Love this. This pink color is funny, to say the least. So let's just take this out of here. And, you know, that'll be a little nice box to store some stuff in if you weren't going to leave the paints in there. Some pencils, some pens, even some brushes. Yeah. So let's move that to the side for a second and take a look at what we have here. Inside the box, again, we had this little nice pink cloth. And then we have the palette. It is beautiful tin palette, pink. I really didn't care what color it was going to be. It has the holding ring on the back so that you'll be able to hold it. The Paul Ruben's logo is on the lower extreme left-hand side of the palette or the tin. Let's open it up here. Check that out. That latches. Oh yeah, that's secure. I love that. That's secure. That's nice and secure, so you don't have to worry about that popping open. When you do open it, on the inside, you have 4 mixing wheels. Again, the Paul Ruben's logo. Another little mixing flap, which has 5 indented wheels, and that let you know what? That needs no adjustment, guys. That lays out evenly already, so you don't have to worry about your paint running. Love that. Nice quality tin. Nice quality tin, Paul Ruben's. All right, let's take a look here. We're gonna open this on up, and we have a swatch sheet. And ooh, guys, look. Look. It's the same picture that's on the brochure and the pretty excellent watercolors by Maylene. Now, remember from that video review, I told you guys that Paul Ruben makes the pretty excellent watercolors, and there's a surefire indication. Yes, indeed, surefire indication. So here we have a color swatch of the colors. It's all in Chinese. What I can tell you is we have a stock number, and then we have a pigment number. So you can tell the pigment numbers from each of the colors. Other than that, everything else is in Chinese. So this is a comprehensive. So this must be all of the colors in the Paul Ruben range. Nice. Couple of QR codes down here for you to shop, I'm assuming, but both of those are in foreign languages, so I would assume that neither one of those QR codes are going to take you to any website that has English. Could be wrong. Might have to try it out to see. Here we have a swatch sheet for each of the colors. It is watercolor paper. Everything on it is written in Chinese. So I can't tell you what any of that says, other than, again, the stock number and the pigment number. I'm glad that it has pigments, and I'm really glad to see from just taking a quick glance at this that most of these colors are single pigment. Love that, love that, love that. Single pigment colors make for great color, clean color mixing. So here you have your palette. I love the tin that it comes in. Let's remove that. Take a look. On the bottom, I've always told you guys, when you have these type tins, take the take the tray out, take the strip of colors out. And on the bottom, you're gonna have more mixing wheels. And there's 2, 4, 6, 7 more wheels on the bottom. So a lot of mixing room in that tin. That's really, really good. Taking a look at the colors. Each of the pans are half pans, 24 of them. They're individually wrapped, on which you typically find with artist watercolors versus student grade or budget grade watercolors when it comes to half pans. Again, most of this information is in Chinese, but I'm still going to keep the wrapper for the swatch sheet just for quick reference. It does tell you the color name in English. Again, the stock number, it says artist watercolor, and on the side of the pen it gives you the pigment number. So don't really need that side, so I may cut it off there and just use the front and the side of the pigment number with each one of them, but we are going to hold on to those. So they go in a metal strip which has the adjustable little parts on it. Like these trays, you kind of push it in order to put your half pan in there and make it stay securely. So there we have it with the unboxing. That's what the product looks like. We are going to go ahead and move into the swatching section of these. So I'm going to prepare the swatch sheet first, and then I'll turn the camera back on to let you guys enjoy the swatching with me, and we'll get this a little bit further on in this review video. Okay guys, that brings us to the review section of the video. So I have taken time to do a couple more paintings other than what you saw in the demo portion of this video, just so I can get a little bit more experience with the paints and really get a chance to test them out on the different aspects that I like to use for my style of painting. And do keep in mind that everything that I'm going to say in this review is solely my opinion. I'm not paid or sponsored in any type of way. So we were looking at the Paul Ruben's 24 karat professional watercolor paints. Now, let me go ahead and say that, you know, for a professional paint, this is what I really good price on it. Really amazing price on it, seriously. So we did talk about the tin and how high quality I feel like the tin is. The tin is really sturdy, really nice. It's got weight to it. So I did swatch the paints out on a little swatch card, which I did off camera. You guys saw me do the regular swatch sheet for my swatch book on camera, of course. Here I kind of put that twice, so I had to go over it with the proper color. But anyway, just for quick reference, again, there's no names on these, so I'm going to go back and write the names in on the little color swatch sheet that I keep inside the tin, just for quick reference. And of course I do still have the full color swatch brochure that came in there. So let's talk about the paints with using them. One of the things I noticed about the paints is that they are really quick wearing. Like you can see the indentation that I've already made in the ultramarine blue, the indentation that I've made in the burnt sienna here, the yellow ochre, I'm sorry, the burnt umber, the burnt sienna, the yellow ochre, the ultramarine blue, some of the yellows, a few of the greens, especially this more yellowy green here. And that's because I tend to use those colors on a more regular basis. And that green that I'm talking about is PG36 and PY72. I forget what they call it. Let's look at the swatch sheet right quick. They call that yellow green. That's what it's called. It's called yellow green. And then the tree green right next to it. I use all of those colors quite a bit. And the funny thing is those two are convenient colors, sort of like sap green. And I found that they were really handy, especially with trying to do landscapes. But the point I was making is that the paints are really quick wearing. So you do get a full half pan, but you know, I feel like you're gonna kind of go through them quickly. Now, of course, with these being the half pan sets, you can always take that half pan and refill it with one of the tubes, because they do have tube sets. And I do believe you can purchase the tubes open stock as well. So that was probably one of the few cons I noticed about the paints. As you can see, the palette did stain just a little bit here, not much. Great thing, let's take a look at the swatch sheet. Great thing is that there were a lot of single pigment colors in the set, which calls for really clean mixing, which is a really great thing. A lot of the primaries are pure pigments, so you can pull those out just to practice on color mixing. You do have some convenience colors, not many. There's not many dual and triple pigment colors in the set. Now, I took the wrapper and put it down on the swatch sheet, as you guys noticed, just for quick reference, so that I can really have the color names. And as I said, I'm gonna have to write them on that other chart. So, other than the high quality tin, I noticed that the paints had nice granulation to them. The ultramarine blue, the cobalt, they all had some really nice granulation. The paints are super transparent. They're really high pigmented. They have really bright and vibrant colors. We're going to take a look at the color mixing in a minute. Here you can see that with this, I love this swatch sheet. So I got this swatching book from Jerry's Autorama. It's actually a book made specifically for putting your swatches in, and I'm gonna show it to you guys really quickly. That's here, and it's called Painter's Color Diary Watercolors, 9x12 sheets. It's 100% cotton, so I love this. But anyway, so these books are what I'm doing my swatch sheets in now. So you can see from the black line that pretty much every single one of the paints is transparent. You have the yellow ochre may have a little opacity to it when you start to layer it, but other than that, yeah, really transparent paints. They glazed really, really well. I really love that. The colors became more saturated. Just really nice colors, guys. Now, what's funny is they reminded me a lot of the Pretty Excellent paints. Now, of course, we do know from the Pretty Excellent review that Paul Ruben's, I'm not sure if they're producing the same factory or if they're the actual paints. And we're going to take a comparison look at those in just a minute. So let's take a look at some of the things that I did with the paints. Well, first, let's look at some more of the testing. So here I used the paints with some salt. Of course, like most paints, they reacted really well with salt, and that was sea salt. We did a split primary color mixing here. I used the lemon yellow. Let's see, I used the lemon yellow, I used the madder red, and I used the ultramarine blue. Got some really clean mixes. Got a beautiful granulating green there. That's a really nice and vibrant bright orange. I really love the saturation in that color. And then here we got another beautiful granulating violet. So anything that you mix the ultramarine blue with is going to granulate. Now, I mixed those three colors together trying to get a dark gray. I got more of a grayish purple color, but again, it has beautiful granulation in it. So the paints do granulate those pigments that you would expect to. Just all around really clean colors. I didn't have any issues or find any qualms with these paints. Again, they reminded me so much of the Pretty Excellent paints. I mean, just a few minor differences. These may be a tad bit more transparent, I think. But in a minute. So I did a demo painting, which you guys are going to see. Something really quick. It wasn't anything spectacular. I just kind of wanted to test the paints as far as the flow was concerned, the layering was concerned. Worked out really well. The colors are so saturated, guys. I really, really love that. Here I just used a fine water soluble fine line marker to outline the picture and to put the little cracks in the rock. But yeah, beautiful colors. Color swatches, I use ultramarine blue. I think I used cobalt blue here. Of course, I used the yellow ochre, the burnt sienna, and I want to say that it's burnt umber. Not burnt umber, it's just umber. And that's not burnt sienna, that is red ochre. But it's, you know, a brownish red. Sort of like the burnt sienna would be. So beautiful colors, beautiful colors. I did a few paintings with it for Inktober. Here I used the Paul Ruben's mixed with the what were those? The Artist Loft pearlescent watercolors to paint a flying bird kind of soaring through the air for day 16, which was foul. I really love the way the paints flow. They have a really nice dispersion rate. So like a lot of the colors, especially the reds, just kind of burst all over the paper in water. And you may be able to see that a little bit in the demo from the color mixing. So really nice here. Really love the way the paints came out. I just used the pearlescent watercolors for a little accent. And this is a lot of Inktober is going to be demos on the channel, so you guys will get a chance to see that. I also did day 27, which was snack, and I kind of jumped around for Inktober because I was doing videos for certain days. But anyway, so here I used the Paul Ruben's watercolors and Master's Touch gouache. I actually threw a lot. Winsor & Newton pigment markers and Staedtler dual brush pen markers to do this. Really love the way it came out. The paints perform really well with other products, so they're going to work really well in a mixed media situation. And here, this is 140-pound cellulose paper. This is the regulations book. I'm sorry, I kind of lost my train of thought there. This particular paper was 140-pound cold press, and this is Canson XL. So as you can see, those are two different cellulose papers, and the paints perform really, really beautifully on both of them. And of course, the swatch sheet was done on 100% cotton paper. So here we're seeing the paints perform across a level of papers, which I was kind of, you know, they're good paints. They are excellent paints, especially at the price. Here I did a little cupcake. This was tempting day 25, and I kind of wanted to use them. I use them with a little of the fine lining markers. Beautiful paint, beautiful paint. Again, worked really well in a mixed media setting. Let's see here. Lastly, there is going to be a demo that goes up on the channel where I painted still life breakfast. I was doing a waffle with some fruits. Now, this was the ultimate test for it. I really got to see love the way I was able to get the wood to come out in the background. Those paints layer so well. And I love the fact that you can see each layer up under it, which again lends to the quality of the transparency of the paints. I was able to mix really nice and clean dark colors because I do not believe there is a cold black in the set if you like to use blacks that come in watercolor sets. Now, this one didn't have a white in it, which is good. So they gave you an additional color than, you know, your typical white or black. Let's see here. Yeah, so those are the demos that I did and some of the things that you're going to see coming up on the channel in reference to or that may have already come up on the channel in reference to using these paints and my testing and field testing for it. So do I recommend the paints? Definitely, hands down. I think they are a beautiful, gorgeous paint for $39.99, which is where you can get that's the price that you can get them for on Amazon. Let me say currently they're $39.99 on Amazon with a 5% coupon. But with that being said, let's compare these to the Pretty Excellent set. So I have that out on the table here. So we are really going to take a look at this really quickly. So this is the student grade, which is the Pretty Excellent set. This is the 36 count. They also have a 48 count now, from what I understand. You can get this one for about $20, and it does, excuse me, have coupons on it. I've seen it go as low as $17 on Amazon. I've really been recommending this set. It comes with a little water brush in it. Okay, so first of all, this is what I kind of want to show you guys. So this is the Pretty Excellent set. This is the brochure that comes in it. And you see here the little scientists working on the formulation for the paints. This is the Paul Ruben's, the professional set we just got through looking at. And this is the brochure that comes with it. And there is the same picture. So this is what I was saying by these paints are produced by the same company. This is just a student grade leveled paint in comparison to the professional paint. Here's the thing. There's a little price difference between the paint, but definitely not much difference in the quality. Let's just take a look at this. So these are the Pretty Excellent, and this is the Paul Ruben's. Let's just take a look at this really quickly. This is pretty amazing to me. The colors are so similar in saturation and vibrancy. The colors are so similar as far as the way that they perform and the granulation that they offer. And to tell you the truth, I actually think you get a little bit more granulation from the Pretty Excellent set than you get from the actual professional set of Paul Ruben's. Now, this is just my opinion based on my experience, but I definitely believe that, definitely feel that. You can even see that from the little swatch sheet, that a lot more of these colors granulate than the ones in the Paul Ruben. So I don't know if that's because they're the same paints and it's a different series for the Pretty Excellent, or if they're the same paints and the pigments, when they make up the actual professional pans, the pigments are more finely ground, excuse me. I'm not sure. But as you can see here, these colors are pretty comparison, and you really cannot just look at them and tell the difference. You get the same effects in the Pretty Excellent set, as you can see here, with the saturation in the color pans to show you that they are really transparent, as you get in the Paul Ruben set. Again, really saturated. Look at here. We're just trying to compare here, you know, side by side. This is pretty amazing. The very, very super closeness and similarity to these paints, all down to the way that they look. The Pretty Excellence were pretty fast wearing with the colors that you use on a regular basis. Same thing with the Paul Rubens. They both are really vibrant and bright and saturated. They're both super transparent. They're both great for layering and lifting, which I didn't actually do the lift test on camera with you guys. I do have it here, and I was intending to do that, so we'll do that really quickly before we jump off camera, just so you can see the lift test with the Paul Rubens. But guys, I'm here to tell you that I think that this is absolutely amazing that these paints are so similar in quality, and there is a huge price difference. I mean, I think that this is a great beginner set, you know, and this is a great beginner set, but like, I would give them both as gifts. This would probably be a gift that I would give to a beginner. This would probably be a gift that I give to a more intermediate to advanced painter, that I was trying to give a more nicer quality gift to as far as the 10 is concerned. Because at the end of the day, the paints, in my opinion, are pretty much just not the same, but so similar that you would not be able to tell a difference. I'm gonna close these up really quickly. And we're just gonna look here at the swatch sheets. That's my little note sheet there. So yeah, colors mix cleanly on both. The Paul Rubens 10 feels like luxury, or feels like more heavy and more expensive, whereas the Pretty Excellent one, it has some weight. It doesn't feel flimsy, but you can just definitely tell that the Professional 10 is a little bit better quality. Outside of that, there is not much difference. Now, of course, in this Pretty Excellent set, you don't get pigment numbers. You do get color names, but you don't get pigment numbers. And if I'm not mistaken, it has light fast ratings on the box. I'm going to have to check that out. Let me see. There are light fast ratings and color names on the box for the Pretty Excellent, but there are no pigment numbers. Now, it is my understanding that the new set of Pretty Excellent, which is the 48 count half pan set, has individual half pans instead of the molded tray, and it also contains pigment numbers. So I'm going to have to reference that in order to get the pigment numbers for 36 count. But with that being said, both of the sets are going to offer you pretty much the same thing. Pigment numbers for both sets, light fast information for both sets, stock numbers for color references for both sets. They perform like twins, guys. They perform like twins. So when it comes down to it, you just have to kind of make the decision. $20 versus $40. You're going to pay $20 more for these paints. And honestly, I'm going to be honest with it. I think what you're paying the $20 more for is the quality and the packaging versus the professional, from the professional to the student grade. Now, I'm going to try a lot of other Paul Ruben products coming up in the future, guys. I really like their products. They make really good quality things. This professional paint, as I told you guys, is only $40. And as we move into looking at professional things, I think I said in the video earlier, I'm still going to try to make sure that they're budget friendly so that we stick to the thriftiness of what we try to do with our artwork. So $40 is not bad for 24 half pans of beautifully performing professional colors. And they would be a great step up. So like if you've been using a Pretty Excellent, or you've been using a student paint, and you're finally ready to make that step up to a professional paint that's not going to break the bank, I definitely would suggest the Paul Rubens 24 half pan set. I think it is lovely, wonderful quality, wonderful quality. Let's see, is that all? I think that's all that I wanted to cover in the review. As far as the Paul Ruben set is concerned, we're just going to take a look at the swatch sheet really quickly just to see if anything else jumps out at me. But no, I think that's pretty much it. Beautiful paints, beautiful performing paints. Let's do that lift test really quickly. Since we're here, we're talking about it, and we need to be fair. So here I have just dispersed that out in a really watery wash and dropped all types of colors in it, mainly reds and blues. I just want to see if we can lift that out. Of course it's stained because that purple was actually mixed on the paper after dropping some red and the phthalo blue in. So it's stained a little bit because phthalo blue is a staining color, but there you go. As you can see, they will lift. They will lift if you need to lift them back. You're going to see me do some lifting when I'm doing this demo, because I was trying to lift some overflow from the background off of the white plate before I start painting. So you guys will see me doing some lifting. So there you have, guys. There you have it, guys. Excuse me. The Paul Ruben's 24 half pan count of professional paints. I definitely recommend them. I'm going to drop a link in the video description in case you would like to source them and add them to your collection. If you heard anything in this video that you liked, that you found helpful or useful, please don't forget to give the video a thumbs up to help out the algorithm. Go ahead and share the video. Sharing is caring, and you never know who else may need to hear this information. Comment section is open. Let me know if you've used these paints. What do you think about these paints? Is this something that you may be interested in getting, especially at the beautifully priced, the beautiful price tag that they have on it? Don't forget to follow and like us on Facebook as well as Instagram. And we are now on TikTok, The Thrifty Apprentice. And as I tell you at the end of every single video, guys, just keep painting.